What's up, guys, and welcome back to Software Solutions. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Season 6 is here for Warzone, and Warzone Season 6 actually looks really good. Now, I did the update for Warzone. It was quite big and everything, and a lot of people were complaining about it on Season 6. And on every social media platform, people are complaining about how big this game is getting. But that's not their main concern. The concern isn't really about the space. The main concern is about the FPS drops that they're getting with their really good computers. There's a lot of people out there that is doing under 60 FPS in the lobby of the game. Now, imagine when you jump into a game what FPS you're going to do. If you're only doing under 60 FPS inside the lobby, that is really bad. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you what you can do with Windows tweaks and tips and tricks that you can do with Windows, and then also I'm going to jump straight into the game to show you the settings that I use for Season 6 to have the game up and running perfectly fine. You just need to follow my guidelines and you should be good to go for Season 6. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need to do is go to the Start button, go to Settings, and go to Windows Update. Alright, so you're going to check for updates for your Windows and make sure that your Windows is up to date. It's very crucial for your machine to stay up to date, especially for Warzone. Now, yesterday I did 4 updates and it asked me to restart my computer. If you haven't done that yet and it asks you to restart your computer, please do it, because Warzone intends for your Windows to be up to date to the latest version with everything for Windows. Alright, once you're done with this, you're going to make sure that your graphics card is up to date. If you're an AMD user, an NVIDIA user, or Intel HD graphics user, just make sure that your graphics card drivers are always up to date for Warzone. In fact, keep your Windows and your graphics card drivers up to date for every single game that you're going to play, because it's crucial for your machine to stay up to date to the latest versions of your graphics card, of your Windows, and everything else. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is, if you're an AMD user, or an NVIDIA user, or an Intel HD graphics user, just type in NVIDIA graphics drivers download or AMD drivers download on Google and go and find the graphics card you are running and install the latest version. Now, if you already have the latest version on your PC, or you already have GeForce Experience as an NVIDIA user, just open up NVIDIA GeForce Experience, just open this up and then go to drivers and say check for updates. Alright, so now as you can see, I have the latest version of my graphics card on my PC. It's already installed, ready up to date, and everything's good to go for me. Okay, so once that's done, that means your Windows is up to date now and your graphics card drivers is up to date. So now the next step you're going to need to do is go to the search button here and type in run. You're going to type in prefetch just like this and press OK. You're going to click on anything inside here, press Ctrl and A, highlight everything, right click on it and say delete. You're going to say do this for all current items and say skip, because Windows is using these 3 files. And then just right click on recycling bin, say empty recycling bin and say yes. Once you're done with that, you go back to the search button and type in run again, and you're going to type in shift 5 for the percentage symbol, temp, shift 5 for the percentage symbol, and enter. Now, you might have a lot of stuff inside here. I highly recommend you just click on anything, press Ctrl and A just like the previous one, right click on it, say delete, and then just say do this for all current items and say skip. Once you're done with that, you're going to go to your recycling bin, exact same thing, empty recycling bin, say yes. Once you're done with that, that is all prefetched files that you don't need on your system at all. You don't need it. It's just there to clutter your machine and you don't need it. Alright, for NVIDIA users out there, if you are an NVIDIA user, all you need to do is right click on your desktop, go to the NVIDIA control panel. If you don't see it here on your desktop, just go to the search button and type in NVIDIA control panel. Normally it's just right click on your desktop, go to NVIDIA control panel. Right, so once you're in the NVIDIA control panel, the first thing you're going to need to do is go to this one over here, and you're going to select the graphics card that you're currently running. Do not select your CPU, do not select auto select, because it actually makes the game worse and you're going to lose FPS. So select the graphics card you're currently running and then say apply once you're done with that. As you can see, mine's already applied. Okay, after that, you're going to go to adjust image settings with preview. This one over here, for Season 6, I know I've been through a lot of these before with my previous videos, where I go use my preference and I put this on performance to get more performance out of your machine. Now, this is your own personal preference depending on what NVIDIA graphics card you are running. Now, I don't know what Warzone's doing, but with different graphics cards like 30 series, 20 series, 10 series, these play a big role with what you choose inside here. Okay, now I have a 20 series 2060 OC, the RTX version. I use this for Season 6, okay? And then I apply it, okay? To say use advanced 3D image settings, I use this. If you have anything lower than a 20 series, or if you are using this setting that I'm using now with any graphics card that you are currently running and you're getting FPS loss, go to use my preference and put this on performance or on balanced. One of these two, and say apply, and then go check your game out, because it will actually boost your FPS depending on the graphics card that you're currently running. Now, mine personal thing, I use this one here for my personal Warzone settings to get more FPS out of my game. Once you're done with that, you go to manage 3D settings and you go to program settings. Once you're done with that and you go to program settings, don't change anything inside global settings, because global settings is going to intend to change everything inside Windows and for every single game that you're going to be playing, not just Warzone. Alright, so as you can see, I have Call of Duty selected already. If you don't see this here and you're brand new to my YouTube, all you need to do is go to the add button over here. Let this open up. It's going to take a little while. There we go. Then go to browse and then go to where your Call of Duty is installed. So mine's over here. So I go to Warzone, go into Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then click on the exe file, which is this one over here. It's the largest file, and then just say open. And once you said open, it's going to look like this. And the first thing you're going to need to do is where it says image sharpening, you're going to turn this off and you're going to say okay. It's going to say sharpening off. This one over here you can keep on. This one over here you don't put on all, you put this on your GPU. So where it says use global settings, don't use global settings. Use the graphics card you're currently running. So just tick the box and say okay. Go all the way down where it says virtual sync. I highly recommend turning this off and then saying apply. Once you're done with that, where it says open GL rendering. Now this is a very, very big role for the new season as well. I highly recommend you choose your graphics card that you're currently running. And this will help you boost FPS inside your game. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, just by these little steps that I'm showing you now can get you more FPS out of your game, and it will make your game run much smoother, especially if you are watching my video right now and you're a NVIDIA user like me. Okay, once you're done with that, you're just going to say apply. Let it just apply, and then once you're done with that, you go out of this, and I'm going to show you what settings I use inside Call of Duty Warzone for Warzone itself, the settings I use to get better FPS inside the game. But the first thing I want to go over is this Battle.net over here. If you have an update and there's a little green thing here at the top, just update the Battle.net and restart it once you're done with that. Okay, just restart it and come back into Battle.net. And then once you're done with that, you come over here, you go to the options button and you go to show in Explorer. You open up Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you go all the way down to where it says Modern Warfare, which is the exe file. Right click on it, go to properties, and then go to compatibility mode. Okay, you're going to change high DPI settings. You're going to tick this box. You're going to make it sign into Windows, and you're going to click on override high DPI scaling behavior. So select this box, say okay, I've already done it, so I can't apply it again. So once you're done with that, once you're inside here again, right, you can go here and you're going to go to settings, and you make sure that this one says exit Battle.net completely once you launch Warzone. This one over here, use browser hardware acceleration. I've gone over this before. Don't tick this box. Please don't. If you tick this box, the game intends to crash, or it intends to give you less FPS inside the game. I don't know why, but for some reason, when you install Battle.net for the first time, or you've installed Warzone from overs or done an update or some, whatever the case might be, this box is ticked for some reason again. So untick it if it is ticked, just untick it and then say done. Okay, once you're done with that, I'm going to show you guys the settings I use inside Warzone to get better FPS inside the game for the new Season 6. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, I'm going to jump into the game now and show you the settings that I'm using and just follow my guidelines. If this worked for you, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, and it will be much appreciated. Honest to God, everyone out there that's subscribing to my YouTube channel, it means a lot to me. It really does. And thanks for all the support that you guys are giving me for my YouTube channel. It honestly means a lot to me. Alright, let's jump straight into Warzone. Let me show you what settings I use to get better FPS in this game. And yes, Season 6 actually looks amazing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm inside Call of Duty Warzone right now, and I'm in the general settings. So the first thing you're going to need to do, this is your own personal preference. A lot of people play field of view on their own personal preference. I like mine at 120, so I can actually see more around me, and it actually helps me with field of view, and that's why it's called field of view. So the higher you go, the more you're going to see on the left and right hand side of you, and your gun will be more in front of you than your gun being right by your chest. Okay, that's basically what field of view does. Pretty sure everyone knows what it does. Anyways, next step you're going to need to do, where it says brightness, I highly recommend changing this to about 60. You can even go inside here and type in 60 and then .00 and press enter. So you can actually see this WZ for Warzone, because there's a lot of people in this game that sits under like stairs or in dark corners, and it's very hard to see them, and you get frustrated because you can't see them, but like you aiming on them and you see like something like the red, but you know there's an enemy, but by the time you see them you are dead because they are hiding in little dark corners. Alright, so the next step you're going to need to do is go to graphics settings. The first thing you're going to need to do over here, a lot of people play this game in windowed mode or in borderless windowed mode. I highly recommend playing this game in full screen mode to get the best FPS out of this game. Now, it's your own personal preference. If you do more FPS in borderless Windows mode or in windowed mode, then choose that option. It's your own personal preference, okay? Depending on the machine that you are running. Now, I play my game at full screen mode, and I run my game perfectly fine at full screen mode. Alright, so obviously your display is the display that you're currently running, like your laptop display or your monitor or your gaming monitor that you're currently running. The next one is going to be your graphics card that you're going to be using. Obviously, the graphics card that you're currently using, you're going to select the graphics card you're currently using and then go to screen refresh rate. Okay, now if you have a 60 Hz monitor or a 120, 144 or 240 Hz monitor, or whatever the case might be with what hertz you have, select the highest hertz that you can go to for the refresh rate of your monitor or your display. Alright, so the next one over here is the render resolution. Now, if you're playing this game at 1080p or 1440p or 720p or whatever the case might be, I highly recommend playing this game at 100%. Okay, your game looks good, the game looks fine. And also another thing is this: if you play this game at 100% at 1080p or 1440p or 720p and you're doing 100% and you're still doing FPS loss inside this game, all you need to do is go into this box and type in 95 and press enter. Go check out your game. If you do more FPS, then there you go. You can also go a little bit lower than this. Don't go too low on this. I don't recommend it. Put it on 90 and press enter and apply your settings and try it out. So I'm just going to put mine back on 100. Sorry about that. I'm just going to put mine back on 100 and just press enter and keep mine at 1080p. Now, this is your advanced settings, so this is the highest your screen can go to. So I can play my game in 4K, but obviously I'm not going to do that because, as you can see, it eats more VRAM at the top right. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go out of this. Okay, where it says aspect ratio, I highly recommend keeping this on auto, but your own personal preference, like I said, it's your own personal preference, depending on the monitor that you're currently running, because a lot of people play on ultra-wide screens and stuff like that, gaming monitors, all those nice things. So it's your own personal preference, this one over here. V-Sync plays a very big role on gaming monitors, because you get, like, you know, GeForce, or basically, sorry, G-Sync. I don't know why I said GeForce. You get G-Sync monitors and stuff like that, and then obviously AMD monitors and stuff like that. So it's your own personal preference. But for me, with my settings, I keep it on disable, and I do really good FPS inside my game. Okay, where it says custom frame rate limit, just keep this unlimited. Again, it's your own personal preference. This is just my settings to get my game up and running the way I wanted to do, because I am a frame chaser. I like to see that I'm doing a lot of frames inside my game. So these are the settings I'm using for my personal rig, and this actually works for me perfectly fine. So I put this on unlimited, and then this one over here, I put on disable, and then this one over here as well, I put on disable. But like I said, it's your own personal preference on what you put these settings on. Okay, now a lot of people with this one over here, a lot of people skip ahead where it says installing shaders to optimize gaming or performance during gameplay. It says pack 1, pack 2, pack 3. Now a lot of people, while that's still installing, they jump into a game. You are going to lose FPS if you rush that little packet installs. Those packet 1, pack 2, pack 3. Don't rush. Let them finish. Let it stay installation complete in green. Now, if you maybe rushed into the game and you forgot about it, then all you can do is come here and say restart shader installation, and it will restart it for you, and then it's going to say shader installation complete or complete installation, and then whatever the case might be, then it's done. So don't rush the game. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't. Wait till it's done, then go into your game. This one over here plays a big role on different machines and different displays. I keep mine at 2.2 because for me, if I put it on that, my game looks much darker, so I keep it on this. This one over here, I keep this at low. This one over here, I keep on high. If you have anything lower than a 4 gig graphics card or anything lower than a 6 gig, I highly recommend putting this at normal, because I actually have a buddy that's running this game on a 1060 3 gig and he's playing everything on very low. So if you have anything above that, like a 4 gig, 6 gig, 8 gig, then you can go to like normal and high. Then you're good to go. Alright, this one over here you can put on high so you can actually see everything in the game. It actually gives you a preview on what this setting does. The setting over here, it shows you what it does. So I keep mine at high. If you're still doing FPS loss, then just put it on normal. I keep mine at high. Particle quality, this one you can just keep on high. You don't have to do anything inside here because it doesn't do anything to your graphics card, so just keep it on high. Bullet impacts, so obviously I'm going to enable this to make the game look more realistic, I guess. This one, I highly recommend you keep this at all so the game looks much better. Where it says on-demand texture streaming, disable this, okay? This one over here, I highly recommend either keeping this on normal or put this on low. This is a competitive game, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a monster machine and you can do this, where you put it on extra and your game still runs fine, and you're not doing any FPS loss, then keep it on extra. Okay, I keep mine at normal. I just leave it there, or you can put it at low. If you're running anything lower than a 6 gig graphics card, I highly recommend putting this at low or on normal. This one over here plays a big role for different machines. I had a lot of comments on asking me, why do I disable this? The reason why I disable this is because of my own personal rig and what I'm running. So I'm running a 9700K that's water cooled and a RTX 2060 OC gigabyte version with 16 gigs of RAM that is overclocked. My graphics card is overclocked and my CPU is overclocked, but I still keep this at disable and my game runs perfectly fine, and it also still looks good. But like I said, it's your own personal preference. If you want to enable this and your game still runs fine, then keep it enabled. I just keep mine disabled. This one over here, you can put an ultra because it doesn't do anything to your graphics card. You can put this at low, it won't do nothing. Normal, it won't do nothing. High, it won't do nothing. Ultra, it won't do nothing to your graphics card. So just keep this at ultra. This one over here, if you have a machine that can run this game with ray tracing, and it runs the game fine with ray tracing, then there's no problem with you enabling this setting. Alright? I personally don't use this. It's a competitive game, so I keep it disabled. This one over here, you're going to disable this one over here. This one over here, you're also going to disable. I had a lot of people asking me questions like, why do you disable it? Now, the reason why I do this, again, it's my own personal rig. So, depending on the machine that you're running, you can put this on whatever the hell you want to and see what FPS you do. So, if you put this on like this and like that, and your game runs fine without FPS loss, then put it on here. But I personally put this like this, and my game runs perfectly fine. This one over here, own personal preference. Again, you can do what you want to here. It's your own personal preference. NVIDIA DLSS. This is for 30 series graphics cards. This one over here, NVIDIA DLSS. That is for This one over here, NVIDIA DLSS, is for 30 series graphics cards. So if you're rocking a 30 series graphics card and you're playing around with these things over here, you can go ahead and do so. I highly recommend putting this on disable. Doesn't matter what graphics card you're running, I keep mine on disable and I do more FPS out of my game. Anti-aliasing, I put this on this so my game actually looks good. Depth of field, I disable this. It's a multiplayer game. World motion blur, I disable this. And then where it says weapon motion blur, I disable this as well. Film gain, I put this all the way to 0.00 because if you put it higher, your game's going to start looking pixelated and the game doesn't look good at all. So I keep mine off. This one over here, I disable it, and then my frame rate target I keep at 300, and then this is my settings for my Warzone, ladies and gentlemen. Play around with the settings and see what settings is best for your machine. Not every person out there has the exact same machine because it's all about the silicon lottery. It's all about how far you can overclock your graphics card, how far you can overclock your CPU, how far you can overclock your RAM. There's a lot of people that do overclocking and stuff like that, so it's your own personal preference on the settings inside here. But if you followed my guidelines, you should be good to go for Season 6. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, and as always, peace out.